More power to you, buddy. More than I can say for myself.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3.
In cities like Washington, Miami, and New York, protesters took to
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cameron Taylor. Thank you for joining us tonight. President Donald Trump's temporary immigration ban is on hold after a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order last night. Now, the Justice Department is expected to appeal that ruling soon. Meanwhile, Americans have once again taken to the streets in protest. NBC's Chris Malone has the story.
In cities like Washington, Miami, and New York, protesters took to the streets again Saturday, pushing a pro-immigration message, urging the Trump administration to drop its executive order barring people from 7 majority Muslim countries from coming to the U.S.
Everyone deserves to come here for a new life. Refugees, Syrians, Libyans, Yemeni, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from.
The protesters encouraged by a Seattle federal judge's ruling late Friday, which puts the travel ban on hold for now.
I find that a temporary restraining order is in the public interest.
The law is a powerful thing. It has the ability to hold everybody accountable to it, and that includes the President of the United States.
President Donald Trump not impressed. In a video recorded before the court ruling, he defended his executive order.
The executive order establishes a process to develop new vetting and mechanisms to ensure those coming into America love and support our people, that they have good intention.
Trump tweeting Saturday morning he believes the ruling is ridiculous and he predicts that it will be overturned. But until that happens, about 60,000 people who had their visas revoked last week and people from the 7 banned countries are now free to come to the U.S. All federal agencies are complying with the court order. If they do come, however, it will be at their own peril. With constant legal maneuvering going on, their status could change at any moment. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
An Iraqi family set off today on their second attempt to reach the U.S. after a judge blocked President Trump's immigration ban. Now, the family said goodbye to their loved ones in Erbil, that's in northern Iraq. The family of 4 was turned back from Cairo's airport en route to the U.S. last Saturday after the ban on immigrants from Iraq and 6 other countries took effect. And they checked in at the airport in Erbil, headed for their final destination of Nashville via Istanbul and New York. Now, Fawad Sharif is a former U.S. aid agency employee. He said he was shocked at President Trump's decision, but he hopes the new court ruling will allow him to reach the U.S. with his family.
The decision was, as if being written and signed in a hurry. Because someone like me who applied for this visa, after 2 years of vetting and investigation, my background, they granted me the visa. So this shocked me and I was surprised. Was there any more to investigate? This was the only thing that shocked me.
The Justice Department is expected to quickly argue in court to reverse the decision blocking the immigration order. In the meantime, people with valid visas are trying to book flights. A soccer fan is charged with disorderly conduct after running onto the field at Finley Stadium during last night's game. Thomas Buds continued to run as officers ordered him to stop. A Chattanooga police officer used a stun gun to stop Buds. Now, EMS was called in to remove the probes. Buds refused medical treatment and was taken to jail. He's scheduled to be in court on Monday. A domestic dispute ends in a stabbing this evening. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office tells Channel 3 it happened on Dockside Drive. A man and woman were fighting when the woman stabbed the man. He was taken to the hospital. Now, the investigation continues and charges are pending tonight. Heavy smoke from a fire on Old Cleveland Pike could be seen from I-75 this afternoon. Fire officials say a neighbor called around 3:40. We're told a homeowner was burning trash in a barrel when hot embers flew out and caught a trailer and stack of tires on fire. Now, a neighbor told officials the homeowner took off when the fire broke out. Firefighters were able to keep it from spreading. No one was hurt, and damages are estimated at $50,000. Plans to clean up and reuse the 12-acre site of the Dixie Yarns Mill appear unfazed by the uncertainty now surrounding the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Our partners at the Chattanooga Times Free Press report city officials recently announced a plan to spend up to $1.5 million to finish tearing down the plant and capping contaminated soil on the site. Now, that was before Donald Trump's presidency began, with the first-week directive to the EPA temporarily freezing all contract approvals and grant awards from the agency. Now, the EPA reportedly has resumed awarding grants, though its future remains uncertain under the new administration. Chattanooga Public Works Director Justin Holland says the city is actively looking for all types of grants, not just EPA money. 3 Dalton police officers are honoring the lives of other Georgia officers who have fallen in the line of duty by planning unique memorials for those officers' families. Through the Planting Brotherhood Project, the trio plants a memorial tree and a plaque for those who lost their lives wherever the family sees fit. Channel 3's Tanisha Cordell has the story.
The Planting Brotherhood Project started last year in September. The officers donated their very first memorial to a 7-year-old boy named Tater, an honorary Whitfield County deputy who wanted to one day protect and serve. At just 3 years old, Gabriel Tater Singleton was diagnosed with neuroblastoma cancer. It's a disease most common in young children where a tumor forms by special nerve cells. But Tater's parents, Lulu and Jesse Singleton, said it didn't stop him from chasing his dreams.
I asked Tater, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he wanted to be a police officer. And I asked him, I was like, why do you want to be a police officer? He said, because they're brave and strong just like me.
A short time later, Whitfield County Sheriff made Tater an honorary deputy and gave him a customized uniform to match his new title.
It was just, the best day of his life. He had a smile from ear to ear, and he didn't want to take his uniform off, and he really, really loved coming here.
In July, 2 weeks shy of his 8th birthday, Tater lost his battle with cancer. But his spirit would live on thanks to these 3 Dalton police officers and their Planting Brotherhood project. After the death of a fellow officer's father, Solomon Donhay, Caleb Morang, and Tim Williams decided to plant a tree and plaque to honor Georgia officers who've lost their lives in the line of duty, starting with Tater.
We had a lot of officers slain in 2016, and we would love to be able to personally honor every single one of them.
It was, I guess, unfortunate but proper way to start it off here in our hometown and then, go across the state of Georgia.
The trio placed a memorial outside of Whitfield County Sheriff's Office, where Tater's parents say he was truly happy.
We felt this was the right place for him because this is his second home. He absolutely loved this place.
It's still a little hard to come up here because our past visits was always bringing him to work and getting to hang out. But it's just an awesome dedication.
One the Singletons hope other families will be able to experience for themselves. The officers are hoping to raise $4,000 to help expand the Planting Brotherhood project and honor more officers like Tater statewide. You can learn more about their fundraising efforts and how to help on our website, WRCBTV.com. In the studio, Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Tanisha. Tonight, the NFL honored the past and the present with the announcement of the 2017 Hall of Fame class and commemorating this season's players. Quarterback Matt Ryan is the first Atlanta Falcons player to win the Associated Press NFL Most Valuable Player Award. Sports Director Paul Shaheen is live in Houston for us tonight and has more on tonight's announcement. Paul.
I'll tell you what, Cameron, what a ring to it that has, doesn't it, for the first time in franchise history. What did it take? Oh, not that much, just 5,000 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, and yeah, only 7 interceptions for Matty Ice, who is about to play the biggest game of his career. As you mentioned, we're live here in Houston at the NFL Experience and NFL Live. So as news broke that Matty Ice was the NFL MVP, of course, we grabbed the camera, grabbed the microphone, and threw it in some people's faces. Basically, a little kid who's a Patriots fan, he's really funny and not happy about it, and an Atlanta Falcons couple, really happy about it. Matt Ryan's the MVP,
yeah,
what do you think?
Yes. I think that's wrong, because Tom Brady is a GOAT.
Enough said then, right? Enough said. Drop the mic. Now, you may or may not have heard, Matt Ryan won the NFL MVP.
We did hear.
What do you think?
Had it. Great.
Wonderful.
It's
well
great.
deserved.
Is it a sign of things to come?
Yes.
Yes, there's going to be a victory tomorrow.
Yes. We're calling it right now.
Dirty Birds rise up.
Dirty Birds.
And for those wondering, no, I did not let that little kid drop our mic for real. It was all an illusion. Coming up a little later in sports, you're actually going to hear from the NFL MVP. He was at the team hotel today. He did not attend the award ceremony. Obviously, he's getting ready for tomorrow's game, but he did have a video conference call where he thanked his teammates. We're going to have that sound a little later in Sports Plus. Much, much more. From Houston, Texas, we are live at Super Bowl 51. I'm Paul Shaheen, Channel 3 Eyewitness Sports.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. We'll see you in a few minutes. Coming up next, Storm Alert meteorologist Nick Austin will have your Sunday morning forecast. And the Super Bowl is the most gambled on sporting event in the country, but it could cost you if you win big.
Go Atlanta. We're proud you made it to the big game. Channel 3's live coverage from Houston, sponsored by Warren & Griffin and Northgate RV in Ringgold.
Well, a pretty nice night, although the cloud cover is increasing. Our live downtown Holiday Inn camera giving you a nice shot of downtown. Temperatures right now in the 40s. It's not terribly cold, and it won't be later tonight and as you wake up tomorrow either. We had 20s this morning with wind chills in the teens. It won't be that cold tomorrow morning. Right now, it's 40 degrees in Knoxville, 47 in Nashville, down in Atlanta around 40 degrees. Right here in the Scenic City, it's 44 out at Level Field, 41 in Dalton. Cleveland, you're at 43. A little cooler up in Athens at 39 degrees. The real cold spot, there is one, as you head out towards Murphy, North Carolina, 28 degrees because the cloud cover is not as thick out there, so the temperatures have been cooling off quicker. But here you see it on the satellite imagery. We do have a lot of cloud cover. Most of it is low and mid-level clouds streaming in out of Middle Tennessee and Alabama, here into our part of the Tennessee Valley and across North Georgia as well. Some of that cloud cover getting to Murphy, so temperatures probably won't cool off a whole lot more out there either. But here's the radar, the high-resolution radar showing just some scattered areas of mainly light rain. A lot of it in Middle Tennessee isn't even reaching the ground yet because the lower atmosphere is just too dry. It hasn't saturated. But there may be a few spots of just sprinkles or light rain, some spots of light rain as well out in West Tennessee, Northwest Alabama, and into parts of Mississippi. It's all moving generally directly west to east, and it'll continue to move through our viewing area as we go through the rest of the night. This is not going to be a major rainmaker. It's just going to be light rain scattered across the area as we head through the overnight hours. Some of it could still be around at about 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock or so as you're heading out to church. But again, it won't be really heavy, but just maybe a little bit of nuisance light rain to start off your Sunday with cloudy skies. And we could see a few breaks of sunshine during the afternoon and into the evening as well before it starts to cloud up again tomorrow night ahead of our next system. This is just a little wave in the mid-atmosphere moving through tonight. But we'll have a cold front approaching Monday and Tuesday, so ahead of that, scattered showers for Monday, and we could see a lot more rain on Tuesday along with some storms. We could use the rainfall. We still have a pretty bad drought situation across the area, especially in parts of northeast Georgia, still in the extreme drought. Many of us still in the severe drought category. Those are the two, not the two worst, but the second and third worst. But overall, we could use the rain. So far for the month, only 1/100 of an inch, and for the year, we've had about 5 inches of rainfall. We're just a little bit behind for the year. 50 and 26, the high and low temperatures today out at Level Field. 50 in Scottsboro, 50 for Trenton, Georgia. 51 Chatsworth, up on Fort Mountain around 44. Soddy Daisy hit 48, while Red Bank topped out at just 47. Right here at Channel 3, 50 degrees, as well as 50 in Cleveland. 48 Pikeville, the high was 43 up on Cagle Mountain, and just 49 in Etowah. Tonight's low, upper 30s. That's not bad. Mostly cloudy with just a few spots of light rain here and there. And we could have an early shower on Sunday, and then a high of 56 for the afternoon. 39 tomorrow night with partly cloudy skies. Your 7-day forecast, a better chance for some scattered showers Monday with a high of 60. It gets warmer early in the week. Mid-60s, right around 65 on Tuesday. We could have 2 rounds of showers and storms on Tuesday, one in the afternoon and another one during the evening or nighttime. We could see thunderstorms too. And then we'll dry off and we'll cool off a little bit too later in the week. Some light mountain snow possible Thursday with some light rain in the valleys. Okay. That's still several days away, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Okay, looks like rain's certainly on the way.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
You bet.
Well, Americans will bet nearly $5 billion on Sunday's Super Bowl game. That's according to the American Gambling Association. Now, that's an 11% increase from last year's Super Bowl gambling. The Super Bowl is the most gambled on sporting event in the country, but most of those bets, around 97% of them, will be placed illegally, according to the AGA. Now, Nevada is the only state permitted to offer traditional sports betting, and gambling winnings, whether legal or not, are taxable income. Former President George H.W. Bush appears to be ready for Sunday's coin toss at the Super Bowl. You're looking at the first photo of the former president that has been released since he was discharged from a hospital in Houston on January 30th. Now, he was treated for pneumonia. Also in the photo is his nephew, Denver Broncos president Joe Ellis. The coin toss will also include Mr. Bush's wife, Barbara, who was also in the hospital last month for bronchitis. Whiskey lovers lined up for a sample of a highly sought-after bourbon made in the U.S. Pappy Van Winkle bourbon is known as one of the finest in the world. It's rare to find because Van Winkle products are only released once a year and in very limited amounts.
This is actually the third time in a couple months I've tried to taste or get the Pappy Van Winkle, either a bottle or a sample. And the first time was an auction, and the 15-year bottle went for about $1,700. So a little bit cheaper to come taste it for free.
Wow. And that's what brought hundreds out to a Denver liquor store yesterday for a taste. Well, up next on Eyewitness News at 11, in sports, a doubleheader at McKenzie Arena as the Mocs take on Western Carolina and the Lady Mocs take on Samford. We'll have the highlights and more when we come back.
Go Atlanta! We're proud you made it to the big game. Channel 3's live coverage from Houston, sponsored by Warren and Griffin and Northgate RV in Ringgold.
Welcome into sports and welcome back live to Houston, Texas, the site of Super Bowl 51. We are still on the road. Of course, the big news tonight at the NFL Honors was Matty Ice and the Atlanta Falcons making franchise history. But the elephant in the room, not a great night for former Chattanooga Moc Terrell Owens. Of course, for the second straight year, you know he was a finalist to get into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. He did not make the short list. He was not inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now to the good stuff. Quite the opposite for Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Not only was Matt Ryan named Offensive Player of the Year, but Matty Ice takes home MVP for the first time in Atlanta Falcons franchise history. The MVP is a Falcon.
And this is an incredible honor for me. Obviously, there are so many other great candidates and players who had amazing seasons. I want to thank all of my teammates. Obviously, without them.
Now, a lot of you heard him mention his teammates. A lot of Matt Ryan's damage he has done has been by the way of his stud wide receiver, Julio Jones. And we have certainly talked a lot about Julio Jones. Let's talk a little more about Julio Jones, because today I caught up with one of his former teammates, that being Cincinnati Bengal Dre Kirkpatrick. Of course, he played 2 seasons with Julio at Alabama. How hard is Julio Jones to cover?
He's very hard, you know, especially by how physical he is, how fast he is. People get surprised by his speed. I played with him for 2 years in college. You know, I feel like he's one of the best in the league.
That coming from Dre Kirkpatrick himself. We also had a chance to catch up today with Jim Wyatt, the Titans.com chief editor. And of course, Wyatt knows a thing or two about Super Bowls. This, in fact, was his 18th Super Bowl that he has covered. Of course, he's here already, and he's been here all week. So we got his take on what he thinks is going to happen tomorrow in Super Bowl 51. Here it is.
I actually am picking the Falcons to win this game, and I think I am in the minority. I saw ESPN had their list of experts, and I think it's probably 5-1 picking the Patriots. I think that Atlanta has enough offense to be able to move the football, and I think they've got enough defense to kind of keep the Patriots in check. 30-27 is what I'm picking.
All right, so we've heard from the officials. Why not hear from the unofficials? But it's always, they're fun. Don't take any offense by it. We're talking about the fans, and we're talking to now Jill Jelnick, who has us covered on that angle.
We've only been in Houston for just a couple of days, but we've been running into Falcons fans all over the place. The most interesting group, however, was a family of 4. Get this. 3 Falcon fans, 1 Patriot fan. We asked her what happened there, and she says she just never liked the Falcons.
I don't know if it's years. A while back, I said if New England, her team, and the Atlanta Falcons, my team, ever made it to the Super Bowl, we're going. So far, we're here. We haven't made it much further yet.
Patriots are going to win.
35-24 Atlanta.
I agree. 35-24 Atlanta.
Sounds good to me, as long as Atlanta wins. Double-digit win, doesn't matter.
Now, most of the fans we talked to said they didn't have tickets to Sunday's game, but they're still here for the experience and, of course, to support their Falcons. In Houston, Jill Jelnick, Channel 3, Eyewitness Sports.
Thanks, Jill. All right, we teased it earlier. Let's get to the hardwood now. There was a doubleheader in Chattanooga at McKenzie Arena. First, we start with the UTC men. Going to those highlights, the men were fresh off that blowout win over UNCG. A slower start in this one, though. The Mocs led Western Carolina, who has 7 wins on the season, by the way, by just 4 at the half, 35-31. They turn it up in the second half. Senior Casey Jones had a season-high 19 points. Chattanooga takes down the Cats 77-65. On the women's side, the Lady Mocs had to rally back. They trailed 38-33 heading out of the third quarter, but the Lady Mocs outscore Sanford 18-7 in the fourth. The UTC women escape 51-45, and we are about out of time. So we'll be right back after the break. Paul Shaheen live in Houston.
All right, welcome back. Nick's here. And Nick, what's tomorrow going to look like?
Well, it's going to be a lot cloudier than it was today. It won't be as pretty of a day.
Oh, that's too bad.
But it's not going to be super cold or anything. We'll start off close to 40 degrees, around 39, maybe a little bit of light rain early in the day. And then we'll see maybe a few glimmers of sunlight later in the day, and we'll have highs right around the mid to maybe upper 50s in a few neighborhoods. So fairly mild tomorrow afternoon, just not going to be as sunny. Scattered showers, much better chance on Monday, even a higher chance of a couple of rounds of rain and maybe some storms on Tuesday, and then it'll cool off later in the week. So we'll keep an eye, especially on Tuesday. Hopefully none of those storms will be severe.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nick. Well, that's it for us. We hope you have a good night.